In this video, we're going to learn the classic pass. Alright, so we're going to get into how to perform the classic pass that you just seen, the performance of it. It's not a very easy move to do. It is something that's kind of got a knack to it. It's going to take a little bit to get down. I'm going to show you a view from the front, from a really bad angle so that you can see what's going on. I'm going to go over the move as in much detail as I can. In this short video. I mean, there's DVDs just based on just doing the pass. So there's, hour-long DVDs out there that you can get that just teach the classic pass. So there's a lot to it. I'm just going to go over pretty briefly, but I'm going to try to give you some detail. And I'm going to give you some good ways to practice the move, because practicing is where you're going to get it down. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how to maybe hide it to make it more invisible. It isn't designed to be invisible. It's actually designed to be used when there's a time of misdirection. It was actually first used as a gambling move. So for cheating with gambling to undo a cut. So let's actually get into the mechanics of it and how to do it, and then we'll go over some subtleties and things like that. Okay guys, so what I want to do is give you kind of an over-the-shoulder view so you can kind of see the backstage look at what's happening there. That's a pass, the classic pass. What you're doing is basically this. I'm going to turn the card face up so you can see what's happening. The card gets cut in, you're going to put a pinky break, but you're not going to do a normal pinky break. You're literally going to jam your pinky in like this, okay? And that goes on top. Now from the side you can see that, okay? And you really want it there, because what you're actually going to do is you're going to, if you straighten out your pinky, it's going to flip this packet up, and that's how you do the pass. So from above, when you're here, you flip that up and pull straight up on this packet, and it comes over, and you drop it back on top. So it's meant to be done in a quick motion. So you're here like this with the break, you come over and you grab the bottom half, the other hand, and you pull up and do the move like that. Okay, so it is a knacky type thing. It's going to take a little bit to get used to, but again, it's here and there. And the best way to keep it more invisible is to get your moves down to where your hands are very minimal movements with your hands. Okay, so again, you're here and you're there. Okay, so you want to make very minimal movements with your hands. Okay. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about different ways to practice doing the pass. I recommend you either film yourself doing it, or you do it in front of a mirror so you can look at what your angles are. The best thing to say is, with angles, is the more at the top of the deck that you can get to in the spectator's eye level, the better. Because essentially what's happening is the only thing they're going to really have a chance to see is the flash of this coming over. Okay, and with your hand and biddle grip above, there's really only maybe that little tiny bit of the deck that they even can see. So that goes away so quick, their view is going to be on this card. Okay, and so when that's not moving, really, they don't see any real movement with it. So with it being that it's face up, you're going to see it easier. Okay, but with it face down, if I go in face down, you don't see too much movement. Okay, another thing is where your bad angles are. Okay, is to watch those. So here we got this side of the hand. Okay, is probably going to be your worst spot because you don't want them to see that. Okay, so what you want is to maybe get more of this side or more of the top. So what I generally tend to do is kind of tilt down when I do it, so I kind of do a downward tilt, and sometimes even I'll do this kind of sweeping motion if I'm doing it in real time. So with an audience, I might come in and just, as I'm turning like that, I do the move. Okay, so again, and it's there's gonna be justification. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and just go, look, you know, do that. I gotta have a justification for the move. So for this kind of twist, so I'll usually say something like, okay, the card goes in, and everybody saw it go in, right? Yeah, okay, and it's back on top. So that's just kind of ways to look at it. Another thing is if you kind of just shake the cards a little bit like this, it kind of helps hide that as well. So if I do it face up, I'll show you kind of what that looks like. If you kind of do this and just kind of, when you're done, do that. I like just to riffle up from the back. That kind of is my way of doing it. So if I just kind of here, and then I riffle and maybe dribble, that just hides any motions that you might have seen with the pack. So some ways to practice. One way is to maybe take half the deck and get a rubber band and wrap it in a rubber band, and wrap the other half in a rubber band, so now you get two solid blocks. So if you do screw up a little bit or your fingers get moved, you're not going to drop cards, because that's probably the most frustrating part, is when you're doing this and the whole pack drops on the floor and you got to pick them all up again. With a rubber band on the deck, at least you won't have to go back through and pick up all the cards. So you can just pick up that rubber banded pack, and it makes it a little easier to get your break and practice doing the move. Okay? Another way you can do it, if you don't want to use the cards, if you don't have rubber bands or whatever, is to use like 2 credit cards or your ID or something, and I'm going to actually show you that method right now. So the cards are together, and then you just pick up one, grab the bottom one, just like you're doing the move, get your pinky break, everything's held, and you come up and just do that. And just practice doing that back and forth. Okay, so that one to that one. And just keep doing this, you know. Maybe do it in front of a mirror so that you can see, you know, if you're flashing it all. And of course, again, the regular pass, the classic pass, is not meant to be that invisible. Okay, there's things you could add to it to make it more invisible.